Hello, my name's Andrew Lane. I work at the Guildhall Art Gallery and London's Roman Amphitheatre, and today I'm going to give a very short talk on another amazing artefact, a smashing pot. But not just any type of pot, a very distinctive type of Roman pottery called Samian ware, that's sometimes plain, sometimes decorated, but always has a wonderful red, shiny finish. And Samian ware was imported into Roman Britain in huge quantities, particularly in the 1st and the 2nd century AD. And there were three main centres of production on the continent in Gaul, in Eastern Gaul, Central Gaul and Southern Gaul. And at each of those locations, they had access to a really fine quality clay, which was ideal for making delicate pottery like this, but they were also on major river systems, which meant that it was easy to export the finished product. And Samian ware comes in a number of different forms. You have plates, you have cups, you have bowls, and you have various sizes as well. And it can probably be divided into undecorated and decorated pieces. And the undecorated pieces, which make up a majority of the Samian ware that's found in excavations, was probably produced on a wheel, with the potter using templates to produce a very uniform type of pot. But today I want to focus on the decorated pieces, such as the example we have here. A wonderful shard of Samian ware showing two gladiators in combat. A piece that we have on show at the Guildhall Art Gallery and London's Roman Amphitheatre. And this small piece comes from a pot which, if complete, would be a little bit like this. Archaeologists call this a Dressel 37 type, and we can see that it's profusely decorated in the lower part of the bowl. And this type of highly decorated pottery would have been produced using a mould. And here we have an image of a mould in the British Museum, and this would have been the first stage of the process to make the mould. And it's made of clay, and we can see that it's got lots of decoration incised around the interior, and this would have been done while the clay was wet and using a variety of different tools, including little metal wheels, roulettes to press in the design, including stamps, and a little bit would have been done freehand as well. And we think that the people that were producing these moulds may well have been specialists. They focused on producing the moulds themselves. And once it was complete with its decoration, the mould would have been fired. And the advantage of that was that once you had a completed fired mould, it was something that could be used time and time again to produce this really highly decorated type of pottery. And let's return to our bowl. The first stage of the process would have been attaching the mould to the wheel. And once you've done that, the potter would have put some clay on the inside of the mould, carefully pressed it into all the small incised decoration, and then started to turn the wheel and to draw the sides of the bowl up and to finish those sides with a rim, just like the example that we've got here. And once they'd done that, they might decide that they wanted to put a stamp on the bowl. It's another thing that we like about this particular type of pottery is that we quite often get stamps in the bowl, and this one comes from the interior, from the base of the bowl, and we have the name Silvani, and we think that this is a maker's stamp. But we find maker's stamps. We also find stamps which we think belong to the potters that created the moulds, and also to the manufacturers. So again, this is a great way for archaeologists to date this particular type of pottery. So once any stamps were attached, and they don't always have stamps, the bowl would have been left to dry. And as it dried, it would shrink slightly. And then if we go back to our mould, we can see that just about at the bottom, there's a very small hole in the middle of the base. And that was to insert perhaps a metal poker so that you could push the bowl out of the mould quite easily. Once that had been done, the next stage was to attach the base of the pot. And once that had been done, then you would dip the pot in a slip, and a slip is a mixture of water and clay, and dipping it in the slip, that's what gives the pot this wonderful red lustrous surface when it's fired. So once that had been done, the pot would be taken to the kiln and would have been fired. And we know that these pots were being produced in massive quantities. We believe that some of the kilns would have been firing between 20 and 30,000 pieces of Samian ware at any one go. So it's a handmade pottery, but it's as close as you can get to an industrial process, with people specialising in different parts of the production. Thank you very much for listening.